And welcome Jackson Christian School Baseball. Steve Beverly, Coach Joe Holloway. A quick start, Steve. No national anthem today. And we got caught off guard here.
Zatarius Coleman, the first player up for Northside, and he grounded out to the pitcher who tossed to first, and so there's one away in the first inning. And on the mound for Jackson Christian, this is J.T. Favara. And after a 10-0 victory for Jackson Christian last night over Fayette Ware, they're trying to keep this string alive.
You're right, Steve. J.T., a good right-handed pitcher, throws high sometimes, but he's got a good breaking ball. He won't go more than 2 innings, and he comes in as a relief pitcher a lot of times.
Got to give him some experience there. Jordan Smith, the first baseman for Northside, is up at the plate. He'll be followed by Spencer Wright, the center fielder. We'll give you the rest of the lineups after this pitch.
And a good pitch right there, right on that corner. And when JT's throwing it there and throwing his breaking ball, he is tough to hit.
Corbin March is the cleanup hitter. He's the designated hitter. And Marlon Beauregard at second base, he'll hit fifth. And Cross Burgess will be on the mound. He hits sixth.
And a swinging strike. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Northside, I'm not used to seeing them, though. And the black uniforms are part of their regimen. That actually started a long time ago with the head coach after Bud Sykes with Wayne Alexander.
Northside's 4-2 on the season. Had a victory by 10 yesterday over West Carroll, 23-13.
3-2, the count. Looks like everybody's straight away. They're in close in right field. Center's a little closer, so they're expecting Jordan Smith to just punch the ball. The 3-2 pitch on the way, curveball outside, and he'll walk, Steve.
Well, last night you had Walker Ray, who's playing first base today, and he faced the minimum 15 batters in that 10-0 victory and struck out 10.
52 pitches, 38 strikes, and that brings up Spencer Wright, the center fielder. He wears number 22, has his front foot even with the front of the plate, kind of deep in the box. We won't see the box because they had a JV game before.
There you go.
There's the pickoff move to first. I believe that was the I know you there. Don't get too wide.
I like that I know you're there move.
You know, some people send business cards over there.
And
Here's the pitch blocked by Wyatt Jones, the tough kid, and that is a tough rascal. You don't want to put your football pads on and let him tackle you.
No, definitely not.
And that baseball is not going to be a match for him. He's going to whip the baseball 9 out of 10 times when it bounces like that.
Temperature's at 53 degrees here as we start the game tonight. It's a little bit chillier by a degree than it was last night.
Oh, that one, I thought, we got our umpire. We like him. He's a good man. He calls. He's a little slower. I liked our guy last night because, man, he zipped that strike out there.
And he would give it to you with volume.
Yes, he would. 1-1 to count. The ones are wild. JT steps off the back of the mound. And let's see if we can set our defense. Creasy's at third. Kelly's at shortstop. Cooper playing second base to start today. Potts started yesterday. Walker Ray at first. Chance King out in the outfield along with Jones and Mullins. And Jones is in center field today. Back to first. They must think that Jordan Smith is running, and Northside does have some speed.
Well, that's the big key. If you can keep them from swiping a base here in the first inning, you don't want to get down early and have to start the comeback trail after the first inning.
Absolutely. We had 4-1 the last time they played with Jackson Christian winning. Now Jones is going to send a nice peg down there, making the guy dive back in there.
Yeah, he took it. He was trying to really get the hit and run on that one, and he just completely missed it.
I think somebody missed a sign on that one. 1-2 the count with 1 out, runner at first. Outfield still straight away. Here's the pitch by Favara. It's a strike, I can tell you that. Don't even wait for the umpire. Put the backwards K, and we'll stop telling you that, but a lot of people forget that's the way it's scored.
Well, first strikeout of the game for J.T. Favara, and now you're looking at Corbin March, the designated hitter.
Young man who I know has some strength, and he has tattooed a couple of baseballs this year. Left that imprint of that metal bat on there. I still like wooden bats. Here's another pickoff attempt. Great camera work by Worthy Road Studio. Man, you can see Walker Ray, the runner at first, right fielder. And that green is so nice on our screen.
Yes, it's as good as it gets when it comes to TV production, the number of cameras that Worthy Road provides for us.
Okay, first pitch to the hitter. Oh, the bender should have got there. Yes, he did. I'm
did.
going to wind up calling it before he does.
A little bit of a late call on them.
I'm an impatient soul. 0-1 to count with 2 outs. Well, Steve, y'all had some great broadcasting. The colors were so vivid over at Union.
It was a fun season, to say the least.
Absolutely. Both the men's and women's team. Here's a peg to first, trying to pick him off. Now, the only thing is, and you tire the runner out diving back in there. I played with a great bait stealer, and I'll tell you about that in a minute. That one's inside for a ball. Philip Luna, the more you throw the first, the more he got his timing down on.
That's right.
Philip Luna never got caught in Babe Ruth League or high school stealing. Didn't play college baseball. Always wondered why. 1-1 pitch with 2 outs. Here it comes. Hey, good work by Wyatt Jones, the catcher.
Down into the dirt, and he went to one knee to be able to dig that one out.
Now, Steve, I'm going to give you a question to answer anytime you want to, but you got time to think about it. Which one would you rather play in as a fielder, a pitcher's no-hitter or a fielder's no-hitter?
I need to think about
now,
that.
That's one to ponder on for a little bit.
I'm going to ponder that one.
2-1 to count. Favera comes to the plate. It's fouled off.
Yep.
And he had to reach for that one, but he protected. The hitter, Corbin March, protected himself at the plate. Fine young coach Rob Maxwell coaches them.
I'm not sure I wouldn't think the fielder's no-hitter.
I'm with you because it keeps you in the game. Pitcher's no-hitter, he's striking out so many and stuff. You kind of go to sleep sometimes in the field.
And also, you think about that also, there's so much more pressure on the pitchers.
Yeah. Here's a chopper back to the pitcher. Favero will go to first, over to Walker Ray, and that'll end the inning. We had no runs, no hits, 1 man left on base, and at the end of a half inning of play, no score. We'll be back after this important timeout on Worthy Road Studios.
Downtown is thriving, and the Blacksmith Restaurant is leading the pack. From the rustic dining room to the unmatched patio, eating local with family is what we're about. Live local, eat local, relax local.
Southern Family Dentistry's dental laser technology is a game changer for those who experience dental anxiety. Just imagine, no more drills. Look at some of Dr. Nathan Nash's patient results. We provide a relaxing environment to ensure a pleasant visit every time. From a simple cleaning to a full dental reconstruction. And now, prepless veneers. We're there when you need us. Dr. Nathan Nash will treat your family just like he wants his family treated. Check them out on Facebook to see all those loving smiles. Call 300-4545. Southern Family Dentistry, we want to make you smile.
Buying a car is all about you. In person, over the phone, or online, we make it simple and easy. Our place is yours, no matter where you live. LonnieCobbFord.com or Lonnie Cobb Ford in Henderson, where cars really are cheaper in the country.
We are back. Steve Beverly, Coach Joe Holloway. The Eagles are coming to bat. Steve, I'll let you run through the batting order.
Well, opening up is Austin Kelly. He's at shortstop. Wyatt Jones, the catcher. And then Chance King in right field. And cleanup, it's Carson Holt, the designated hitter. Walker Ray, who pitched last night, a complete game. He's the first baseman. He'll be hitting fifth. Zach Creasy at third, and he'll be in the sixth spot. J.T. Mullins, the left fielder, will be batting seventh. Easton Jones in right field hits eighth, and J.T. Favera, the pitcher, will be batting ninth.
Okay, and if those of you that have Game Changer, if you were looking on your Game Changer for this Northside game, actually on the Game Changer schedule, it says we're supposed to be playing McNairy Central in Selmer, Tennessee. 2 things I can guarantee you. 1, we're not playing McNairy Central, and 2, we are not in Selmer, Tennessee.
Not in Selmer, Tennessee. We're just about a hop and a skip from Van Drive in Jackson, Tennessee right now.
And what we do have is great hamburgers at the concession stand. We don't serve slug burgers here like they do down. What is it, Pat's Restaurant in Selmer?
Yeah, but those hot dogs last night.
Wasn't that great?
Woo!
And that was those big ones too now.
Ain't B, that was good.
I didn't eat anything else the rest of the night.
I didn't either. That was out of this world last night.
Now, if you come to the ball game, you owe yourself to go visit Chuck Walker. Chuck Walker's our one of our morning hosts, Chuck Ray, and that's Walker Ray's dad. And go visit him. He is a great person at the grill. Our concession stand is good, and I'll give you a little hint. Sometimes if they pop too much popcorn and you're leaving the ball game, check and see if there's a box of it out there. It's still good, folks.
Well, got to also see Walker's mom, Jennifer, who I actually taught at Union University a number of years back. And of course, her parents were the owners of Magic Wheels here in Jackson, and it was certainly a great reunion with her today.
And she went to Northside, where I taught. I didn't have her in class, but she was a very good student there. Kelly up, the shortstop, played a fine ball game last night, Steve. He had several hits.
Well, that one completely got away, and so that's one thing last night that Jackson Christian really capitalized on is a number of pass balls and fielding mistakes on the part of Fayette Ware.
Yeah, Fayette Ware had 4 errors, and that led to their downfall. Here's the pitch up in the air, but it's going to get out of play. And
I heard where it bonged. I was hoping we got a couple of kids who were passing right by, and I was hoping they saw it.
Yeah, that's one thing when you come to the ballpark. Steve is correct. Parents, kind of keep an eye out and help young people because they're having a big old time.
That's right.
Even if the ball game's not going on, they're having a big old time. There's the pitch, slow. And I see one of the Northside players that came out to get the foul ball. And both teams, it's like in college, they help each other out, whether you're home or visitors, with foul balls and things. But he also reminded the young people that might want to be aware of the game. That's a nice touch. Here's the windup in the pitch. Nice pitch, but it's going to miss. And Cross Burgess on the mound. Have not seen this young man pitch before, but I like what he's done early. He's got a 2-ball, 1-strike count on the leadoff man, Austin Kelly. Nice pitch right there, Steve.
3-2 just got over the outside corner.
Yeah, they got it. I need to pay attention to my game changer. I keep wanting to say DAC stats. Boy, you can tell the NAIE influence on me.
I'm telling you, it's still there for all of us.
Here's the pitch. It'll be ball 4, and the always dangerous Austin Kelly is on first base, and he could be running.
He had a couple of hits last night, and he got a walk, and he's one of these that he's just very dangerous on the base paths. Now you got Wyatt Jones, the catcher, coming up.
Yeah, Wyatt had a big night, too, last night. He was on base every time he was up there. He had 2 hits, got on once by error, so that made him 2 for 3. And I like him. He is a tough guy. And I've seen him hit people in football, and you don't want – nice lead, though, by Austin Kelly. He's almost at the edge of the cutout. Good shot from center field by Worthy Road Studio.
Oh, hit him.
Plunked. I guarantee you, check the baseball for damage. Wyatt Jones, it didn't hurt him. Wyatt hit by a pitch, and now we got runners at first and second. This, again, is Coach Maxwell is building him a program over there. He's got some good players. They played a 4-1 game. He had that game with West Carroll last night, 23-13.
I don't care who you're playing. You pile up 23 out there, and you have had an offensive showplace right now. But here's the key, is having these unforced errors, starting with a walk and a hit batsman, and this is where last night Jackson Christian really capitalized.
Striding to the plate is the king. That's Chance King, not Jerry Lawler. And this
or Harley Race.
Yeah, Harley Race. You know, Jerry Lawler, pretty good softball player in his own right.
I remember seeing the king in his, well, in that case, the king in his court. Not Eddie Fainer, but Jerry Lawler with his All-Stars.
Absolutely. And fans, do not call me during the game. I know who that is.
Joe can't talk to you during the game, folks.
No, I can't. And this broadcast, of course, on 2 Facebooks. That one's going to get away, and we're going to have runners at second and third.
Move them up the path, the wild pitch.
You know, Steve, yesterday in the early innings, we got some runners in position, and we didn't score until later. That first inning, we threatened all over the place.
Well, he's got, particularly with nobody out and runners in scoring position now, it's a perfect opportunity for King.
Well, King can also, he's capable of losing the baseball for us, too. Those things are expensive now, too.
That's right.
We don't recycle them either.
There's a drive.
Into right center field. Will it get down? It gets in and out of the glove. He tried to make that one-handed catch, and one run will score, one will be, and now, Steve, you're going to laugh at me. I am almost tempted to give him a hit on that one.
Well, I am too, even though it was dropped, and it really should be an error on the right fielder. Let's see what – they're going to give him an error.
They're going to give him an error. We will go with the official score, and it was a hard decision.
Yeah, give him an E9, but you got runners now on the corners.
Yep, and Chance will tell me, he said, Coach, I appreciate you doing that for me. He's really nice about stuff
Well,
like
after
that.
last night, Joe, you know, there were a couple of them that we felt like were clear errors.
Oh, yeah. I'm with you all the way, Steve. And we got a pitch out of the stretch now as Cross Burgess is in a little first inning trouble with no outs, runners at first and third. Now, even though King was a linebacker in football, he's got decent enough speed to steal right here.
And he's got a pretty good lead.
And another one outside, and they're going to throw, and they almost got the guy because he slid head first.
He did.
But it's just wet enough there to hold him up a little bit.
Oh, I thought they had him as a dead duck on the pond.
Well, a little extra effort there for Wyatt Jones. He kind of crawled back that last because it was like he bogged down in sliding. He's in foul territory, which you always want to be. Never get in fair territory at third base.
No.
Burgess' pitch fouled off just a little bit behind it is Carson Holt, the DH. He had a big night last night, Steve.
Oh, he definitely did. He's another one of these guys that got 2 hits.
Yeah, and he had a big double in that game. Struck out his first time, but, boy, he made up for it the rest of the game. Carson, eventually you'll see him in the field. He's got a couple of leg injuries from the past that's getting over, but he can still hit that baseball. His mom was a great basketball player at Northside, and that one's a ball. His dad was a great athlete, too. But the reason I know so much about his mother's basketball playing is she played for myself and Richard Foster.
I had every reason to believe his mom played for you.
His granddad is David Cisco, the councilman.
Yeah, that one was high.
We won't hold it against him. His uncle Shane Cisco. No, Shane's another one of my good friends and a good person. But and of course Jeff Cisco, the big tight end from Northside. Cisco's here at Jackson Christian. They're a fixture here.
Well,
Holtz. Wow, that was quick. Good eye by Carson Holt, and now the sacks are jammed. The fun begins with Jackson Christian.
And Walker Ray to the plate, playing first base tonight.
And he helped himself last night, had a good night at the plate besides just throwing 52 pitches. Burgess, a fine young man, he's just been on the edge of missing. Bob Euchre would say just a little bit outside.
Yes, just a little bit.
There's the pitch. That one's going to be a strike right at the knees. Steve, looks like the infield's going to be at double play depth.
Yeah, it looks like they're trying to be able to nab particularly a first and second double play, and they'll concede the run if they have to.
Now that curve probably was a ball when it started, and it continued a little further outside. Outfield showing healthy respect for Walker Ray, a right-handed hitter. Chase McLean, the head coach down there, boy, he was flashing those signals a minute ago. Walker has the green light, trust me. He did last night, too. There it is.
There you go.
Base hit right over the bag. Goes towards the fence on the left field foul side. One run has crossed the plate.
That might bring them all.
2 runs streaking to the plate, and they're going to hold up Chance King because Chance would have had to have hit the catcher, which you can't do like you hit a running back in football. But 2 runs have crossed the plate, and it's a 3-0 game.
Well, terrific double. And that's the kind of thing that last night in the first inning, they were a little bit short of the mark and could not capitalize on some of those. But again, you talk about when you give them the base on balls or the hit batsman, you're going to pay for it at some point.
Steve, no truer statement. Listen to my man Steve Beverly. He will quote you the facts and give you the gospel of baseball.
Or as Don Hudlow used to say, no truer words have been said through faults or teeth.
That's right. Oh, I remember. You bring back some good memories on stuff like that. Now, one of these games, Steve, I'm going to do my Ronald Reagan sportscasting impersonation.
Oh, yeah, where you call it it's off the sheet.
Yeah. You did.
Oh.
That was
and that's going to score a run.
They said it didn't hit the bat. Man, I thought our parabolic mic says it did, but it's going to get a run in. Now, that's interesting. The umpire's closer than we are. Maybe
now, let's see. I think he may be sending him back.
Oh, is he sending back?
Yeah.
Well, I just colored in my little square. And that's what you do on a scorebook. Okay, it is colored in. It's 1-1. There's no outs and runners at second and third.
Well, so Carson and Walker got sent back, but well,
that'll take care of business in a hurry.
That's 2 hit batsmen in the inning.
Yeah, and that was Zach Creasy up there, and we didn't get Zach, the third baseman, and a great basketball player. That brings up J.T. Mullins, who's in left field today. He wears number 7. He plays the 7th position in the scorebook, and he hits in the 7th spot in the lineup.
Yep.
7s are wild on this one. And Coach Maxwell goes out there, and a good thing, because this young man throwing is a good pitcher. He's the control, really the hits batsman's the only thing I'm worried about. He's been right on the edge of the plate on the missed pitches.
Now, I'm looking out here, Joe, and just looking at this, and it looks like they gave the run to Carson Holt because we got runners on first and second instead of loaded.
Well,
nah, he's going back, but they've posted.
Yeah, there's
a 4
only
spot.
three.
There's only
to my
three.
Book, there's only
three runs that are in. So apparently they jumped the gun on that and did not get the fact that he sent Carson back down to third base.
That'll cause an adjustment on the scoreboard in a minute. But J.T. Mullen, the left-handed hitting left fielder up there. And, he's kind of wearing his pants above the knees. It used to be right under the knees, and then George Hendrick came, and remember when he took the elastic out of his pants and they were all the way down into his shoes and over his shoes.
Boy, it was a totally different fashion look.
And Coleman has a good arm. He's almost gotten 2 of them.
Just back onto the plate at third.
They got him.
They called him out.
They did call him out. They said they got him. And I know one thing, when I was playing for Charles Todd, we'd have to run a mile if we got picked off one of the bases. So 1 out.
So Carson caught stealing, but they still are. They've got the 4 spot on the board here, and it's actually 3.
It's 3-0. You're right. Steve's right. 3 runs, 3 hits. Runners at first and second now, pitching out of the stretch. Oh, that one just missed on the inside corner, Steve. It had to be almost a millimicron away from the plate.
Well, you got the bases loaded once again. Only 1 out, so they still got to play for the double play here.
And that brings up Easton Jones. He is in right field, wears number 6. Now, I had him in center field a while ago. And, boy, he took a big swing, and I believe there is an emergency alert. Don't worry about it. It's out of Franklin, Tennessee.
Yeah, Amber Alert.
1 strike to count, 1 out. Bases jammed, no place to put him. Burgess comes to the plate. The right-hander's pitch is right on that inside corner at the knees. So 0-2, and now Easton Jones has to go into a defensive batting. You got to make contact.
Yep.
He comes high, and sometimes that's release point. And, of course, Jones, a very fine fielder. And I'm going to make sure here in a minute that I didn't put it down wrong. Outside is the pitch.
I have him in right field.
I do, too. Interesting. We'll check Game Changer out. We're not perfect either, but we like to give you the best information. Sacks jam, outfield straightaway, infield at double play depth. This one fouled away. That's one of those. We had one come through the glass of the softball press box last year at Freed Hardeman like that, Steve. Paul Schultze here. We're going to get Paul on camera here in a minute, but we got a great shot of the hitter and the catcher right now. Here it is, hit up in the air. It's going to be in foul territory. It drifts, and it goes out of bounds. It was over the fence, but the wrong fence.
Well, this is the 8th man to bat in the inning for the Eagles. Last night they had 1 inning where they sent 10 to the plate.
And JT Favera may only pitch one inning. We got word on that. If that happens, they throw behind the batter a little bit. Steve, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
That was back to the backstop just a little bit far and so quick that there was not a chance for Walker Ray to come in and score.
Yeah, actually it's 3 balls, 2 strikes, but there's only 1 out, so they won't be running into a double play here. Drilled into left field. Will it stay fair is the only question. The answer is no, it's off the foul fence.
Boy, he had a ripple on that one. Got around just a little bit too quick.
Yeah, I thought Jones was fixing to take that one to the house, and some people don't like the term, but besides being called a grand slam, it can also be called the grand salami.
We got a very light wind tonight, not quite as heavy as we had last night.
Yeah, last night a couple of times our notes were floating in here. Oh, they got like the low strike on that
Right
one.
down the corner.
Yep. So there are 2 outs now in the inning. Runners will be going on the crack of the bat, or the ping of the bat, I guess would be a bat. This will be a pinch hitter, and Steve, with those numbers that are just the outline and they have white, it's going to be interesting to find out because we want to give the young man credit. You know, eventually the National Federation says those type numbers can no longer be worn in football after 2023.
Well, I think what it is also because it's just very difficult to tell for people like us. If you're at any degree of a distance, it's very difficult to tell if they don't have borders around them.
That's right, and they use a real thin line, and we do know it is a pinch hitter for JT Favera because he was going to pitch 2 innings but not come to the plate, and the pitch is a strike. The umpire's knees are probably dictating low strikes right now. Would you think that?
I would have every reason to believe that based on what this inning has been.
3-0 is the true score of the game. Here's Burgess' pitch, and it's pretty close, but not a strike.
The Eagles have batted around here in the first inning.
Which means I get to put a 1 on my scorebook unless this young man makes an out. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs, sacks jammed, infield, back, fouled off. I like that high one in the eyes.
Yeah, 1 and 2. Okay, that is Campbell Scott, who is pinch hitting.
Good man to send up there. Campbell Scott. Got to see him play a lot of football last year. The 1-2 pitch ready to come. After that foul ball, Burgess' pitch, he went around on it, and that will end the inning with a strikeout. And, Steve, I've only got 3 runs. You double-check me and make
That's
sure.
That's what I got. I got 3 runs.
And I've got a lot of walks, but only 1 hit in that inning. So the score is actually 3-0. I know you see probably out on the scoreboard 4-0, but it is not 4-0. It's 3-0. The Northside Indians will come to bat, and we'll pick that up. Let's take a timeout on the network.
Hello, folks. This is Gary Deaton, right here at Deaton's Carpet One. I want to let you know we've been in business for 48 years. Here's what I believe has made the difference. Our lifetime labor warranty on everything we install. Our healthy living installations, bacteria and germs cannot survive in our new flooring. Our beautiful guarantee, if you don't just love it, we'll replace it. It will make your flooring experience priceless. We're located on Freedom Highway, 1000 Highway 45 bypass in good old Jackson, Tennessee.
Great American Sports, make sports an addiction. Located at 125B Old Hickory Boulevard, East in Jackson. We specialize in teen sports for youth leagues, schools, and churches. We can embroider and screen print team uniforms. We also have sports equipment, Under Armour, and Adidas clothing, and anything else you need for your teen sports. You can email or call us for all your teen sports needs. Great American Sports, make sports an addiction.
And we're back, and they're ready to play. Boy, they're moving quick tonight, Steve.
I tell you what, they're ready. After last night, we had a few of these gaps between innings. They're ready to get this one on.
Absolutely. Marlon Beauregard up there, the first pitch. Now, here's what's happening so we can explain it. And everybody that knows the high school rules say, Coach, we don't need it. But there are people. JT Favera can come back in on the re-entry rule and pitch. and that's what he's doing. JT's pitch, a swinging strike, evens the count at 1-1. We'll check the defensive alignment. Boy, we're really in. Chance King is in. Steve way in right field.
Yeah, they're not trusting Marlin for a deep hit.
No, they're not. Marlin is the number 5 hitter. Here's one. Hit towards first base. Walker Ray's got it. Put that away because once he thumps his mitt and gets under it, it's over. So a 1 out pop up to the first baseman. And that will bring up to the plate Cross Burgess, the pitcher, who is a very good athlete. He checks his head coach out and he gets some encouragement. I like this. Even though they're down 3-0, I like it when head coaches give you some encouragement.
Well, that's all you can do in a situation like this, and just keep their attitudes upbeat that, okay, we're down 3, but let's see if we can make a rally.
Nice curveball for a swinging strike, Steve. Now, King has only taken 1 step further back, so they're really daring him in right field right now. Of course, King can go back and get 1, too. Center fielder Easton Jones, and he is in center field. Here's the pitch. I thought it looked pretty good.
Yeah, it just gave us that, maybe a second and a half pause before we got the
Was
signal.
that almost like a pageant wave?
I thought so.
1 and 2 or 2 strikes to count. Here's JT's pitch. Curveball dribbled on the ground. Walker Ray will take it unassisted for the 2nd out of the inning. So there's 2 away, bringing up Joseph Marshall, the 3rd baseman.
Well, they've done a good job so far. There's only been 1 walk, and that was to Jordan Smith, the first baseman, and he has scattered 6 hitters so far in the contest, and this is just really a workmanlike process from the mound.
Well, this is, Steve, maybe you've brought something exciting. 2 good pitching performances back-to-back so far. I mean, Walker, 52 pitches. That's a ball.
Even when it's a bit chilly like this is the kind of atmosphere and time of day I love to see them play, because it's not too bright out there, but it's just at the kind of time late here in the afternoon, and you know that you got maybe at least twilight going to go until about 7:10, something like that. I like this.
Absolutely, and nobody really has a bad sun field the way this field is laid out here. 2 balls the count. There are 2 outs in the inning for Northside. Here's one driven up the middle, flashing across. Austin Kelly shoots it across and just a little wide, and that's got to be an error on the throw, and Marshall has hustled down the line and gotten on base. E6.
All right, so first error of the contest on Northside. And that's only the 2nd base runner in the game. As I mentioned earlier, Smith walked.
Steve, absolutely correct. And that brings up a young man, Ty Rutledge. He's the right fielder. You wonder if Aaron Woods has looked at him. He's got good bill. He's not super tall, but he's tall enough. Wonder if he ever plays basketball. See, a lot of guys play basketball in middle school but never come on to the high school.
There you go.
Here's the pitch. Oh, the bender should be there. Yes, it is. I got time to say that before he ever calls a strike. And somebody texted me last night and said, what's a bender? It's a curveball. They still got those settings up on my phone. I got to get rid of those.
Marshall's in scoring position at 2nd.
Yeah. Yeah, we're going to deke him back a little bit, and that's what they call it when you fake at him. That one's inside, just missing. JT wanted that one. He's going to walk back to the back of the mound. That's the way you do it. And he's going to take a good long look at where his people are, and I believe some signals have been given to him through the shortstop. The shortstop told him about coverage then. 1-1 the count with 2 outs and a runner at 2nd base. They fake, or some people like the word deke, D-E-K-E, over there to say that he's playing games with him, fouled off.
Right back to the screen. Interesting, we got a 3-0 game, and there's only 1 hit between the 2 teams.
Yeah, not exactly as far as hits an offensive thing, but I'm going to tell you what, we nearly had one. What was it, JT that hit that one out there in left field that went foul?
He did a long one out and went just foul left field.
Favera steps off the back, and that's the way. If he'd step forward, it's a balk. If he steps backwards off the pitching rubber. And remember, folks, and I've already gotten a text, Moose, you know better than that. It's a mound in baseball. It's a circle in softball. There is no mound in softball.
There you go.
Checking the runner, Favera comes to the plate, throws the curveball, and this inning is over, Steve. There were 4 men came to the plate, but only one of them got on base with the error. And no runs, no hits, no errors, 1 man left on base since the end of 1 1/2 inning of play. It is the Jackson Christian Eagles 3 and the Northside Indians nothing. Let's take a timeout on Worthy Road Studios.
Did you know that Lonnie Cobb Ford's Warranty for Life is available on pre-owned vehicles too? That's right, a warranty for life on a used car. And with our huge selection of over 100 vehicles, we have the one for you. Lonnie Cobb Ford in Henderson, where cars really are cheaper in the country.
Welcome to Man's Wrecker Service. We offer a wide array of services. We are dedicated towing professionals, experienced in both simple and complicated towing services. We offer light and heavy-duty off-road recovery, auto and heavy-duty towing, load shift and load transfer capabilities, and much more. We are equipped to handle any situation, no matter how big or how small. Call today at 731-424-2173.
And we are back for there's our parabolic mic coming up. You'll like that's an added feature. Now the music, may have to turn it down till the music stops because it gets a little loud, but the parabolic mic, that's the reason we could hear that foul tip that at first nobody knew it was a foul tip except for our parabolic mic.
That's just one of those things. It's such a great innovation in sports that you're able to do this, and for a company like Worthy Road Studios that is the crown jewel of sports production in West Tennessee, I got to tell you, Paul Schultze and his entire crew, they just do so many innovations in these games. I had such a great time working with them in basketball this year at Union University, and there were some games we were working with 6 cameras. And it was just
you love those floor cameras too, don't you?
I love the floor cameras, and particularly a lot of folks at home don't realize the floor cameras are wireless.
Yeah.
And we didn't have that kind of advantage when I first started 30 years ago calling Union basketball. And so it has just been a real treat to be able to see all of these folks do what they do. A lot of great high school kids that are working on the Worthy Road crew.
Steve used to be the voice of the DVDs is what I called it for the NAI. But, folks, his background, he actually was news director and an anchor at BBJ. And trust me, I've worked for Cy Bay Hackle before. I was in Kingsport doing it. We didn't have the best equipment.
Shall we say no?
Okay, Jackson Christian School back up to bat. Austin Kelly, who scored in the first inning, grounds to the shortstop. The shortstop's up, makes the wrong throw, and pulls the first baseman off. I'm going to tell you what, that was bang, bang. So Kelly is on first, and Reed's throw just kind of sailed to the right.
So they're going to charge him with an error, and that is error number 2 now on north side.
And Wyatt Jones, who got plunked with a pitch. There's a good word, plunked.
Plunk.
Wyatt, tough nut. The baseball was damaged after it hit Wyatt, but he's fine. He's up there at the plate. And you think I'm exaggerating, folks. This is one tough customer when it comes to playing. He's back in the box, and we're stealing. Throw goes through, and it was closer than I thought it was. A one-hopper to the shortstop.
Tell you, Austin had it in his eyes that he was going for second almost from the minute that pitch was thrown. And he had just enough of an advantage that the throw was late. But as you said, it was a good arm on the part of the catcher.
Yeah, he cranked that one up. Now you on AstroTurf, the ball would have actually picked up speed. But we're on real grass in a beautiful field at that. Here's the bender, and it gets away, and we're going to have a runner at third base.
Yeah, that's a pass ball.
Yep. You can't have it in your mitt that much and not get a pass ball out of it. So a runner at third, and the Eagles are threatening to score with Austin Kelly and no outs and a 1-ball, no strike counter. Is it 1-1? It's 1-1. It had to be.
1-1.
I was looking at my notes, and it had to be 1-1.
He comes in, and it'll be another unearned run.
Yep. Here's the pitch, and it's high. Matter of fact, that was above the helmet level of Wyatt Jones. And we'll see what they're showing Wyatt some respect. There was some backup on it. Everybody else is pretty well at normal depth. Here's the 2-1 pitch on the way from Burgess. Cracked, and he was out in front of it. And that one, boy, you could hear it crack. That sounded almost like a wooden bat.
Yeah,
till it pinged.
He was just a bit around on that too quick and couldn't get any height on that one. And so you are looking now, and this is a guy that he came in on a double in the first inning. He scores a lot of runs. He's got a lot of talent on the base paths.
Yeah, that's the reason he's hitting number 2, 2-2 count. Burgess delivers to the plate. The bender, and he hung in there. Nice reach to stay in there. And Steve, you came evidently well equipped for battle with your drinks over there.
I had a little bit of, shall we say, as Lipton tea, the herbal tea this time, because I can't do the caffeine. They won't let me have that anymore.
And that one is high, makes it 3-2. Well, you see what I have.
I know what you got, the caffeine-free Diet Coke.
They have taken me off of the caffeine too. And caffeine isn't really good for you folks.
Well, it it definitely wasn't for me.
Fouled off again. Boy, Wyatt is hanging tough. You got to like that young man.
Oh, yeah.
He is a dandy. You ought to talk to him sometime. He was on our Tuesday night show during the fall at Hub City Deli. Steve, you have to come to that sometime.
I got to drop by with you at Hub City. It's a great place to eat, too.
Yeah, when they have the pig. And I like the Piggy Sue sandwich. They got great brisket and some other things. The bender, and they say, but it gets away and you can run to first. And did they throw him out? Yes.
Yep, they got him at first, but that scored a run.
He toe-tapped and got back to the bag. The first baseman, Smith, did a good job of doing that. So Jones strikes out, but he does get the run in. There's a swinging strike, 1 out. Now it is 4-0. Both teams have committed error. We got 3-1-1. They have 0-0-1. And bringing to the plate is the muscle man himself, Chance King. Now, Chance did score in that first inning. Takes a ball.
He got to first base on an error on the right fielder.
Yeah, Steve, it still doesn't hurt to put that second hand on the ball.
That's right. You got to do that today.
Even though some of these gloves are made a little different, there's another ball in there, low, 2-0 the count. You got to. That's just a good fundamental.
There you go. Hadn't put up that fourth run on the board yet, so in case you're wondering about it, it is a 4-0 game.
It sure is. Even though our Worthy Road scoreboard, because actually our scoreboard on the screen is the real scoreboard.
Now they've got it up.
That's good. We like, what a great shot of the dugout, the hitter, the umpire. You know, Dizzy used to call the umpire the Empire.
The Empire, yeah. Dizzy called a lot of things that were not accurate, and that's why people loved him.
Chance King will be on again, this time with a walk. He hasn't had a hit today, but he has been on base twice, and like we said, scored the third run. And that brings up Carson Holt. Of course, Holt he's 0 for 1 officially today. Actually, he's 0 for 0 in his, Steve, because he walked.
Yeah, that's the third walk of the game for Cross Burgess.
You know, I saw Pee Wee Reese, or at least somebody playing Pee Wee, in the Jackie Robinson story on TV the other day.
Pee Wee was the perfect counterpart for Dizzy Dean.
I believe we've had a balk.
I believe we have, because he's going trotting down to second.
And that will send a runner to second base. And now in scoring position from there.
Well, they have made the most so far, Joe, on that pitch. They've made the most out of only having one hit in this game and been able to get 4 runs across.
They sure have a healthy swinging strike 1 to Carson Holt, who's the DH. Tace McLean coaching at first. Todd Lumley, or at first is Todd Lumley at third, and there's another ball. Chase McLean, the head coach, who has all kinds of educational degree stuff, very good teacher, handles a lot of different duties besides teaching class, coaches baseball. He also is the SID here.
Hey, well, when you're a high school coach, you wear a lot of hats.
Absolutely. There's the foul off to the third base side, out of play. One I didn't particularly like, but I'd done it at home before. You also get to play custodian sometimes, too, especially if you're a basketball coach.
Yeah. A story I can tell about one night in a Trans-South Conference championship game at Trevecca, and a student went over after Union won it and handed Ralph Turner a mop to clean up where he had been given a Gatorade bath.
Oh, Lord,
and Ralph looked at the young man and he said, "I'm not too good to mop up anything. Give me that mop." And Ralph proceeded
I can see Ralph doing that. That pitch fouled off. You know, Ralph had on his, and Chance, his foot's hurting a little bit. Now the umpire walked out. This is an umpire thing to give Chance a chance to kind of walk this off where it hit his foot, and it helps the pitcher. You know, sometimes they'll even say, "Hey, you know, just a little bit closer on this one," and you got. And so, good umpires, and this gentleman must be a good umpire because he's used great judgment on some things. And again, part of the new mechanics is all this stuff. And the umpire yesterday was great, but he had the old mechanics, and I like those. And like I told you about Reverend Voigtman, when somebody slides in, you out, he would bounce that finger. Here's the pitch in the dirt, and
he can't get there.
He can't get him, and one of the problems is Cross Burgess may be holding the ball just a little long, and you can't aim your pitches. The young man has a good arm. He is a good pitcher. I don't have what grade they're in. We just have a roster with names and a starting lineup photographed by the coach here. And here's a ground ball. It'll get the run for the out situation. Carson Holt drives one in, but the out goes from second to first. That was Beauregard to Smith. And we've got 2 outs in the inning, I believe.
There you go, and a 5-0 game, still on 1 hit.
Yep. And that brings up the man that has that 1 hit, Walker Ray, who had a big double in the first inning.
As we mentioned last night, he was amazing. He faced the minimum 15 batters on the mound and had 10 strikeouts. 6 of them were actual swinging strikes.
And
he had his stuff going last night.
He did. He had it going offensively. Check, he has the open stance when we see the shot. We've got slightly open, the front foot, but it'll go towards the pitcher as the ball's delivered. Here's the pitch from Burgess.
Oh,
whoa! Got out of there just in time. That's one that can have you have an Alka-Seltzer headache.
And that's one that you can picture mom and dad in the stands taking about 8 deep breaths.
Well, may have to even give them resuscitation.
Yes. Ooh.
So it is a 2-ball, no strike count to the senior Walker Ray with 2 outs. Here's driven down to it's fair. It got a little chalk. I saw the dust come up, and Walker Ray is in a track meet right now to second. And they're going to make the throw to third, but I don't believe they'll get him as he slides in with a triple.
Second hit of the game for Jackson Christian, and that's the first triple we've seen here in these last 2 games. And Walker has set him up once again with easy scoring position, only about 90 feet from the plate.
Now coming up, Zach Creasy, the third baseman who was hit by a pitch, but Zach, a very capable hitter. Now I'm going to tell you what, I hope I'm not jinxing him, but we've got a double and a triple. The triple being the hardest, I think, of all of them to get. Could we see him hit for the cycle today?
Well, let's just see what happens with this. It's very possible.
On at third, he'll get him a good lead. He'll stay in foul territory, and there's one that's low. That one didn't miss by much, and you can tell that Cross Burgess is a good pitcher, but he hasn't given up a 1 hit, but some bases on balls and an error.
He's thrown a lot of pitches in these first 2 innings.
Yeah, we'll check his pitch count. I'm glad you said that, Steve. Looks like Burgess has already thrown 62 pitches.
And you're looking at, 120 count pitch?
That is the maximum. Now, if you still got a batter up there in your 120th pitch is like the 2-2 count, you can finish that one, but then you have to come out. Here's the pitch on the way and high, and the catcher. And this young man, I like his guts. Coleman, he'll throw the ball.
Yeah.
And that's what you need. You need a catcher that can do things like that. 3 balls, no strikes, 2 outs, runner on third. The pitch is outside, and we got first and third. And I will bet you that Brother Creasy will be stealing. He's been hit by a pitch, now walked. And J.T. Mullins, the left fielder, coming up there.
And this is, in just the first 2 innings, this is the 16th man to the plate for Jackson Christian.
And, of course, Mullins is 0 for 0 coming up there. He is capable. And remember, the right field fence is the shortest part of this ballpark.
That's right.
Let's see what Burgess wants to do. I don't see anybody warming up, though, on the north side. And JT may go another inning. Did you see anybody warming up, Steve,
I did
for
not.
the Indians?
I did not.
I mean, for the Eagles. Out of the stretch, runners at first and third. He's going. They won't throw through. They throw to third base, which you try to catch the guy asleep at third. And I've seen that happen in a college game.
Well, Zach gets a stolen base out of that.
Shortstop came in and said a word or two to his pitcher. The hitter wearing number 7 in the 7th spot.
Be interesting to see if they try to put him on and try for a play at every base.
It would make things easier. Sometimes with 2 ball, no strike count, you and I both have seen where they just put them on and tell them to go on. But they'll let Burgess pitch. And that one, he blistered it in there right down Main Street.
Be interesting to see if JT gets the green light on this one.
Yes, it is. The 2-1 pitch on the way, swinging, and he came all the way through. He wanted to pull that ball to right field. Now the deuces are officially wild. 2 runners on, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. JT Mullins at the plate. Here's the pitch. High for ball 3. Increases the drama. Now, if we just had a runner on first, we would have high drama.
Yes.
That's kind of like the high chaparral, isn't it? Or something
Yeah,
like
man. Now, we're going back more than 55 years when you talk about the high chaparral.
Does that mean we're old, Steve?
Yes, it does, Joe.
Here it
There
is.
you go.
Hit. It's going to get down. It's a base hit. 1 run scores. The second run streaking to the plate. And the throw goes into second, holding it, but a 2-run single for J.T. Mullins, the left fielder. 2 big RBIs there. Like it.
So JT makes it a 7-0 game in the 2nd inning.
Yeah, and we've done all that. Steve has pointed this out so accurate. Just 2 hits to do all this wonderful
That's right.
stuff. Northside wants to get the out here and get their shot at the third. Steve Beverly will be doing the play-by-play in the 3rd and 4th innings, and there's a ball high. We may not be finished yet.
Easton, he looked at a called 3rd strike in the 1st inning of play, but this is almost, they're getting close to batting around for the 2nd straight inning.
Yeah, we're not but 2 hitters away. And this one hit up in the air. First baseman's drawing a beat on it. Fields for the fence, and it didn't quite. And that you have to master that. Plus, there is a little rise. You know how the Astros field has that little hill that goes up out. Well, we have the same thing here, and only ours is in foul territory. And give the young man at first, Smith, credit because he really tried to play at Jordan Smith the best he could.
So, he was trying to balance himself while he attempted to catch the ball, and it just simply, sometimes you just can't do both.
That's right. 1-1 to count. The pitch is high, and there it goes. I like Coleman. Zeke Coleman is a very aggressive catcher, and I love it when people have faith in themselves.
Yes. Even when you're down 7-0, you have nothing to lose. You're playing with house money at this point.
That's right. Here's a runner going. They're going to throw through. The throw will get away, but the center fielder hustling over to back it up, and the shortstop was also trying to get there. It'll hold the runner at second base. So a runner, Steve, in scoring position with 2 outs.
3rd stolen base of the game for the Eagles.
Easton Jones has a chance to make hay while the sun's still shining out there as it sets over in right field. Actually, it's outside the ballpark, but it's still up a little bit. Burgess got his sign. Out of the stretch, comes to the plate. It is outside, and we've got another base runner.
Yeah, he has just had a rough 2 innings tonight.
Yep. And here comes Chase McLean, the manager. We'll have a pinch hitter again, and so we probably will not see JT because I don't think he can re-enter again. I have to make sure. The college rule and high school rule are slightly different on this.
And they are going to be bringing in Carter Ellis.
Carter Ellis, another fine young man.
So far, it's 6 walks and 2 hit batsmen for Cross Burgess.
Yes. Now, before this game's over, I got to tell you, the Fine Arts Department here at Jackson Christian's got a big thing coming up Sunday, and I'll read you the exacts on it, and we'll try to keep you appraised. And, of course, yesterday we told you about some – there, we stealing. They didn't see it. It's going to go right to the shortstop, and that'll end the inning, but it could have been even more damaging, Steve. But 4 runs in this inning on, again, a hit by Walker Ray and also a hit by Mullins, so 3 hits total, but it's 7-0 in favor of the Eagles. Let's take that time out. When you come back on Worthy Road Studios, Steve Beverly will be commanding the Starship.
Football looks fun. I bet I would have been great at it. The first football playing Deer, they would have made a movie about me and everything. Probably get Kurt Russell to play me. But alas, me and my dreams run right over again.
For fast, reliable collision repair, trust the experts at Mitchell's Body Shop. And get back out there.
This could be a true story. On October 3rd, a 2003 hatchback struck and killed a deer that goes by the name Buck. I know, right? He now has Buck's head proudly displayed on his living room wall. He tells a different story.
Shot it.
No, he didn't.
And to hide his lie, he took his car to Mitchell's Body Shop.
No, I didn't.
Yes, he did. And lucky for him, they made it look good as new. And as for Buck, the story continues.
And back we are here, and you see some of the partisans here at Jackson Christian, and they are enjoying this, even though you see a lot of hoods and a lot of toboggans on right now, because this is not your typical late March weather in West Tennessee. It looks more like November, Joe.
And my smart aleck friend Moose, and Moose is a good friend, just text back, is the Fonz there since you see hoods?
Cam Reed, the shortstop, is at the plate for Northside. It's his first appearance of the evening.
And he's 9th man to order.
And Northside has not, so far, been able to get a hit.
And we'll have to pick up the new pitcher as quick as we can. He is a right-hander, a little taller than JT was.
Trying to catch his number, and it's just not detectable enough from where we're at. There we go. Yes, it is. It's Carter Ellis.
Carter Ellis came on to pitch.
1-1 the count. And that one hits the dirt.
That's one of those 55-foot jobs.
There you go. Yeah, you know, and you got to get that measurement right in there, 55 to 58 feet.
Yeah.
2-1 the count. Northside trying to see if they can get a rally going here in the third after giving up 7. And that one is low and outside, and it's 3-1. So they may be able to get on the evening what would be their third base runner. They've had one on by way of a walk and another one on an error on the shortstop.
Hadn't had a hit yet.
And outside for ball 4, and so that gives them a start in this inning as Reed walks. And that'll get us back up to the top of the order with Zatarius Coleman, the catcher. He grounded out 1-3. Pitcher to first baseman in the first inning.
And he's their fine catcher. We'll tell you about that art exhibit on Sunday here in a few moments.
Ellis to throw. And got the call on the corner.
Nice pitch.
Jackson Christian has scored its 7 runs on only 3 hits in the game. They've capitalized off 6 walks, 2 hit batsmen, and a single error.
That's the deliberate move, calling card,
yes.
business card.
Business
whatever.
card,
Yeah,
that's it.
That's a good one. Anyway, Jackson Christian will host an art exhibit at the Shelley Fines Arts Center Sunday from 1 to 4, and that's Sunday the 27th, and a diverse range of mediums and topics there chosen by our art students.
And hope all of you will have an opportunity to get out and visit that and enjoy some of the fine creative talent.
Absolutely. One of the best pep bands, the band director here at Jackson Christian, boy, for basketball. It's like going in here in the Union Pep Band.
Yeah, sometimes I wonder, we need a pep band in baseball.
Well, some places, Charles O. Finley used to have elephants and
Yeah.
drums. He'd have drums out there, and some people bring bugles and stuff.
0-2 pitch. Not a big lead over at first by Reed. And Ellis delivers. And runner advances down to second as that one gets by as a wild pitch.
Yeah, and that one was a 60-foot fastball, but it's got to go 60 feet 6 inches.
So it's 1-2 as Reed moves down into scoring position. And for Northside, after those first 2 innings, anything would be at least a cause for celebration.
Oh, they'd love to put one on the board here. Remember, the last time these two teams played is 4-1.
And Coleman taps one right back to the mound. Runner's going to advance to third, but that is out number 1. So score that one 1-3 as Reed moves over to third on the fielder's choice.
And I think that time, with the 7-0 lead, they decided get the easy out at first because Ellis gave them a look, and they could have wheeled and thrown because they would have had Reed in no man's land.
Yeah, it's one of those things that, you concede the run if you have to in this case. And this is Jordan Smith, the first baseman, walked his first time up. Didn't advance beyond first base. 2 strikeouts in the game so far for Jackson Christian. And that one's outside. Got 1-1, and they're keeping Reed relatively close down at third.
He's going to pitch out of the stretch. You'll see the third baseman make a juke over there in a minute.
And the pitch. And as Joe called it right there, he made that little dive back into third because the third baseman, Zach Creasy, was right on top of him.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, I like it, the guts of a cat burglar making that throw over the top of a right-handed hitter by Wyatt Jones.
All right, Ellis gets ready for the 1-2. And swing and a miss. Just went for one well outside, and that's the first K of the game for Carter Ellis.
Yeah, he's only thrown 12 pitches. Of course, he just came in this thing. I wished we had a radar gun. Paul, do you hear that? If you're listening, Paul, we need a radar gun.
Get a radar gun out there, and we'll just have we'll let one of these kids out here fire it for us during the game. That one's outside for 1-0. Once again, Reed at third. Spencer Wright, the center fielder, at the plate. He's got plenty of power. He can let fly with one.
He can. He's got a good stance. He's back in the box a little.
And that's tapped to the third baseman, and he's going to get the long throw to first.
And he got down in time. Good footwork by Walker Ray over there.
Excellent job being able to get down on the high throw. And so there you go. There's no runs, no hits, no errors. You had one man that got on with a walk and one man left on base. And our score after 2.5 innings, it is Jackson Christian 7, Northside nothing. Back after these messages.
Men, there's a new salon in Jackson, Race Clips, on South Highland, next door to Roland Safety and Supply. Whether it's a quick trim or a new look, Race Clips stylists can transform you to perfection. At Race Clips, you'll find all the products to keep you looking your best. Active duty military, veterans, and law enforcement officers receive a discount. Open Monday through Friday from 9 to 6, 9 to 3 on Saturday. Race Clips on South Highland, Jackson. Go to race-clips.com.
Over 7 years ago, God called Brandy Reagan into a new career as a realtor. 7+ years later, Brandy is a multi-million-dollar producer, broker, and owner of Reagan Realty Group. Brandy believes God will always give her what He wants her to have. Brandy loves helping clients find their dream homes, and she believes each and every home has a story to tell. So call Brandy today at 731-410-7700 and let her help tell your story.
Go Eagles!
As we start the bottom half of the third inning, Cross Burgess appears to be done for the evening, and he's replaced on the mound by Isaiah Meeks. What were the totals, Joe, on Cross?
For Burgess, 2 innings pitched. He gave up 3 hits, 7 runs, and they've credited him with 2 of those runs being earned, 6 bases on balls, and 3 strikeouts.
So, and this is one of the things that Jackson Christian did so well last night against Fayette Ware is these unforced errors, the walks, the hit batsmen, as well as the errors. They have really done it well in the first 2 innings to make it 7-0, and they batted around in both of the first 2 innings, so it is once again back to the top of the lineup with Austin Kelly.
And we have done this with not economy of scale like we talk about in economics, but economy of offense.
Kelly so far in the game tonight, he reached base as he had a walk in the first inning, and he reached base on an error on the first baseman in the second inning. And that one was in there for a strike. Seven runs, 3 hits, 1 error for Jackson Christian. For Northside, no runs, no hits, and an error. 1-1 the count, nobody on. I hope wherever you are happen to be watching tonight that you've got a little bit of hot chocolate or hot cider around you tonight. It's so important that you are warm because as this continues to go this evening, I got a feeling that the temperatures are going to finally hit down in the 40s.
It is. Watch out for the frost, Steve.
That's right.
Now, Steve is dapperly attired. He's got his UT orange toboggan on, but he's got his Union red jacket on. You can't go wrong with
It's a
that.
clash of colors, Joe. Right down in there for call strike 3.
And I don't think our hitter was quite sure of that.
Let's put it this way. The look on his face as he trudged back to the dugout was not what you would consider. I agree with you, Mr. Ump.
Yep. But he was nice about it.
Yeah, he was. No, there was nothing that was to create turbulence. And that brings up Wyatt Jones, the catcher. He reached first as a hit batsman in the first inning and grounded out in the second. And Kelly's delivering. He's got an arm on him.
Got
He
a
can
little
hum.
zip on his. And like to see young men that can throw that baseball. That's what pitching's still the name of the game, Steve.
You have to.
Missing the target.
Just a little bit outside of the corner. 2-0 the count. 17 runs in the 2 games that Jackson Christian has played, and that one got around a little bit too quick on, 2-1. Jackson Christian, a 10-run rule last night, defeating Fayette Ware and getting 7 in the first 2 innings tonight against Northside. So they have put the offense on the board in this Thursday, Friday set. And that one low into the dirt, make it a 3-1 count.
Remember Wyatt was out in front his last at bat on one.
That's
of them
right.
Like that. Mind you that you can catch this game live on Facebook from Jackson Christian Worthy Road Studios. It'll be archived on YouTube tonight. I know it'll be there by 10, maybe before that.
Just depends on when we get out of here. And he went around on that one, 3-2.
I think Brother Meeks took a little bit off of that pitch.
Yeah, that looked like a little bit of a change-up.
He's got the sign he wants. He's just waiting on the umpire to settle back in.
And the pitch. And it's a high fly ball going back to left field. And the left fielder's having to change direction. He lost it in the twilight, almost like the same thing we saw last night. He's going to be in there for a stand-up double. Joe, we saw something like that again last night where you had a drive into left field, and the left fielder for Fayette Ware somewhat lost it in the twilight. And as we've talked about, you get to this time of the evening where you still don't have the sunshine, but yet it's not completely dark. It's sometimes more difficult to follow the ball if you're the outfielder.
Steve, you're absolutely right. This happened about 4 minutes earlier than it did last night. For some reason, I was writing times on certain things, and you described it well of what happened.
Fourth hit of the game now for Jackson Christian. Chance King, the right fielder, is in. He reached first on an error on the right fielder in the first inning and then ended up with a walk in the second inning. So he's been on base every time, and he scored 2 runs.
And we had time called for a second there. And it may have been the hitter asking for time.
Are you and I going to have to go to the left-handed handkerchief swish
I'm afraid
tonight?
it's getting close. I've kind of tried to avoid it a couple of times.
So have I. And there's your runner going down to third. It's going to be a close one, and he did not get in under the tag, and he's out of there. So Jones tried to give it a hole and went down and was thrown out by the catcher. Nice throw and anticipated it beautifully. So they give up that opportunity at that threat.
Yeah, and I failed to pick up who the courtesy runner was for Jones. Then his catcher, he'd already gone in to change his. It was Jack Collins.
And it's tapped a 2-hopper down to the third baseman, and he throws it on to first. And that's it, 1, 2, 3. And so, no runs, 1 hit, and no errors, and you had no one left on base. And so at the end of 3 innings of play, your score is still Jackson Christian 7, Northside nothing. Back after these messages.
27 years ago, a vision became a reality and Snookum Steakhouse officially opened. We cut our steaks in-house and our ribeyes are full of flavor. The steak trimmings are used to make our certified Angus beef steak burgers, so when you order at Snookum's, you're getting high quality. Enjoy our salad bar and mini dessert. Also try our famous family recipe, the Pink Lush Fruit Salad. Come visit Snookum Steakhouse in Henderson, Tennessee. We are open evenings Tuesday through Saturday but closed Sunday and Monday. Snookum Steakhouse, come taste the difference.
Southern Family Dentistry's dental laser technology is a game changer for those who experience dental anxiety. Southern Family Dentistry provides a relaxing environment to ensure a pleasant visit every time. From a simple clean to full dental reconstruction and now prepless veneers, they're there when you need them. Dr. Nathan Nash will treat your family like he wants his family treated. Check them out on Facebook or call 300-4545. Southern Family Dentistry. We want to make you smile.
And we invite, boy, she's happy.
Great fan shot, but
this is what I call the seriousness of baseball fans.
She is very serious. Now, if Alan Funt with Candid Camera was here, he would say, smile.
You're on Candid Camera. I just turned around and looked, and I thought, that's a grim expression, or at least serious at this point. Corbin March, the designated hitter, is up as we begin the top of the fourth. Steve Beverly and Coach Joe Holloway bringing you all of the action of Jackson Christian against Northside High.
That's been a few years over there.
Yes. And swing and a miss.
Corbin out a little ahead of that one. Nice pitch by Ellis. It was March, Beauregard, and Meeks due up this inning.
And that one's tapped foul. Down the left field foul line.
And I know this is the Jackson Christian broadcast, but I'm sure they won't mind that Pirtle, one of the football players Northside, signed yesterday.
Oh, my goodness. You always love to hear that great news of these athletes that are moving on to the next level.
Yeah, and he knows what he wants to take.
And just got a piece of that one as it goes back to the screen. And it remains 0-2.
That's that high fastball. It looks like a beach ball coming up there. Shrinks to an aspirin tablet as it gets to you.
Aspirin tablet, I can tell you. You wish you took it rather than you swung it.
Absolutely.
And that one is almost the exact same thing, the carbon copy, as it goes back behind the screen, and we are still at 0-2. Carter Ellis is the relief pitcher after we had 2 innings from J.T. Favara of scoreless ball.
March hanging tough at the plate.
And just outside, and it's a 1-2 count.
That was a good tempting pitch. Sometimes I hate to call it a waste pitch because he was trying to tempt.
Yeah, he was trying to somehow be able to get him to go for that one on the outside. And that one goes into the dirt, evens the count at 2-2.
And that's one of those 57-footers right there.
So far on the evening, Northside with 3 strikeouts. They've had players to reach in on 2 walks and an error. That one was almost right there down the middle, just barely tipped at the last minute, and it keeps it at 2-2.
You could hear on our parabolic mic, you could hear it tipping like that. Without that mic, you would not be hearing that.
And it just adds so much because you're right there on top of the action when you hear that. In the dirt, 3-2. So as you say, Joe, March has really hung tough in this at-bat. He grounded out to the pitcher to first in the first inning of play.
And he has really upped that pitch count for Ellis. We're at 23 pitches. Remember, though, this is just his second inning of work.
And again, it was right upstairs, and it went back into the softball field.
I think I have discovered where Brother March's wheelhouse is.
It begins to reveal itself.
Now, if I'm a pitcher, I catalog that information just like the coach is cataloging it.
The 3-2. And that's going to be a base hit right between the third baseman and the shortstop, and that's the first one to get out of the infield for Northside. And so first hit of the game, and it is March, and that was an excellent at-bat, Joe.
It was. You couldn't have laser lined that one through better.
And he fended off about 5 pitches that gave him the one he wanted, and he just waited for the pitch to come to him.
Excellent piece of hitting by the young man.
That brings up Marlon Beauregard, the second baseman, and he flied out to the pitcher his first time up, rather to the first baseman.
And we'll have a pinch runner, Steve. 17, Tajan Transo, who's a freshman, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, he has a lot of speed. I know a lot of the young people that's come through I've watched with the last name Transo, they can run.
Well, there's a lot of athletes with that last name that have come and gone through the schools district in Jackson, Tennessee.
And it's one of those names kind of like at different schools you have, like here, the Ciscos, you've got a bunch of them. Well, also the Holts are kin to the Ciscos,
right.
So it's really kind of the same thing. Well, other schools have their families like that. Infield at double play depth, Steve.
And a pitch, and swings at a low one and taps it foul.
And that ping you heard was, again, from our parabolic mic of Worthy Road Studios. Keep an eye on the diamond. We got a diamond that shows you where the player is, which base he's on.
Again, more of the innovations that we bring you that is just really above the level of high school sports on television around the Southeast.
Boy, that one was a dotted line strike then, Steve.
It's an 0-2 count. And let's see what Ellis does with this one. Right down the middle, but it just went a little bit around the outside corner.
Bring that one in, but it could have been in the hitter's wheelhouse too, though.
1-2. Beauregard trying to help keep something going for Northside here in the fourth inning. And strike 3, he's done. So that's the 4th strikeout of the evening for Northside. And at the plate now is Isaiah Meeks, the pitcher.
27 pitches now for Carter Ellis.
And beautiful pitch, and he was well ahead of it. Strike 1 for Meeks.
And Game Changer has just updated 29 pitches now.
And it looked like the runner was going to try to move on that one, and he thought better of it, and it's an 0-2 count.
He didn't have the hard steal signal. He was on his own option then, Steve.
Let's see if he tries to go on this one with the 0-2 count.
He's moving, I think.
Yeah, there you go. That's, as you say, the business card warning.
Yep, and I wished now I need to take a look. I don't know whether they go back through the signs or he stays with the same sign. Again, that's a coach's decision, but this young man has been given information from the previous pitch.
There's one that's going to get out of the infield, and it's not going to stop. He's going to try to go to third with it. And, in fact, he does. So they got runners on the corners now. A nice job of hitting by Isaiah Meeks to help his own cause. And so that brings March over to third.
It really was a good piece of hitting because second baseman had leaned or shortened up towards second base then.
Northside hadn't been able to get a hit in the first 3 innings, and now they've gotten 2 here in the 4th. And that brings up the third baseman, Joseph Marshall, with the runners on the corners. And it'll be curious to see if Meeks decides to try to swipe second to take the double play off.
I think they will, and it'll be interesting to see, does Jackson Christian make the decision to throw through, or they use one of the fakes like the hard throw to third or the hard throw back to the pitcher.
No runs, 2 hits, and 1 error for Northside. 7 runs, 4 hits, and 1 error for Jackson Christian.
Joseph Marshall, I believe, was on with a shortstop throwing error that first time.
That's right. And he stole. That's the only stolen base of the evening for Northside. He did get a steal of second, didn't get to come in because Rutledge struck out. And there's a drive, and it's going to go back to the center fielder, and he gets under it and takes it. And here goes the runner who's going to come home, and they're going to get the guy at second. He's done.
Now the run will not be allowed.
The run will not count. Wow. So that is a double play on that. The fly out to the center fielder, and then a beautiful play to get the guy going to second. And so here you go, no runs, 2 hits, no errors, and after all of that, no one left on base. And your score at the end of 3 1/2, it's Jackson Christian 7, Northside nothing.
We are a team composed of highly skilled physical therapists with new school treatment approaches and old school customer service principles. We are a community presence because we know our foundation rests in relationship building and involvement. We are leaders in this industry, and we're putting in time daily to develop that aspect of thinking. We're more than a business. We're a team composed of individuals governed by a set of core values. We're more than a physical therapy company. We're a movement in the profession. We are your premier physical therapy team in West Tennessee.
Downtown is thriving, and the Blacksmith Restaurant is leading the pack. From the rustic dining room to the unmatched patio, eating local with family is what we're about. Live local, eat local, relax local.
Well, Northside made a threat in the top half of the 4th, but it was the 8-4, a highly unusual double play that ended up killing the threat, and the run that came home was before, it was, he did not get home before the double play, and so you don't count that as the run, and it's a 7-0 game still. So Meeks is going to be back on the mound for the Indians, and at the plate here as we start the 4th inning is the designated hitter, Carson Holt.
Absolutely, and we'll encourage people to go back and watch that play again on the YouTube replay of Worthy Road Studios. And, of course, Jackson Christian's Facebook and Worthy Road Studios Facebook has this game live. Hey, who knows, I may even play a clip on the Saturday Sports Roundup on WNWS tomorrow morning. That'd be a good one to play too, Steve.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you don't see that kind of double play too often, but when you get it, it's a beautiful thing to watch. And Holt with a 1-0 count, and it's high for ball 2.
Holt has been on once, but he is 0 for 1 officially. That ground out that he had.
Meeks did a good job when he came in the third inning and faced the minimum 3 batters. Hard swing and a miss, 2-1.
And he's a good pitcher, too. And, see, these are non-district games, so you have to be careful how you use the pitching staff because I believe next week starts some district games.
Yeah. And that's when it really begins to count toward the postseason. That one's low, 3-1.
Well, you don't want to run your ace or anybody out and use them where you can't come back with them. And again, there's strategy because a lot of the district games for Jackson Christian are Monday, Tuesday games.
And the 3-1. And that's popped high, and let's see if it's going to drop. And it does. It drops in between the left fielder and the third baseman, and I think he's going to make it to second. So Holt gets in with a stand-up double. He's been on base twice now. He's got an RBI that he had in the second inning, which he brought one in on a 4-3 ground out.
And I need to explain what Monday, Tuesday. You play at, for example, Jackson Christian. You play here at our house, and then on Tuesday we have to go to the other place.
You trade places, yeah. It's not quite like it was with college basketball during COVID. Not this past season, but the year before, where you were playing in the same place 2 games on Friday and Saturday.
Yes.
That one's hit back to the screen. We got Walker Ray, the first baseman, last night's winning pitcher.
And he's had a big hit in this contest.
Sure has. In fact, he had a big double in the first inning.
Had a triple to go along with it, but that double was really big.
Yeah, we've been trying to see if perhaps we could think about whether he would go for the cycle tonight.
Single or home run? Which one you want, Steve?
I'll say single first.
Okay.
I don't want to put too much pressure on him to hit one out of the park. And just outside, no, it hit the corner.
That's that delayed signal that they give. Don't forget about the Fine Arts Show 1 to 4 Sunday right here on the campus of Jackson Christian.
As I say, you see a lot of creative talent at shows like that, and you want to come out and support these folks.
Got some talented young people here. Great academics.
The 0-2 is outside, 1-2.
Now, I know that pitch went outside all that. Walker is a young man. He is capable of hitting the ball to right field off that pitch. He played summer league ball, I believe, with the Tigers out of Memphis, and that's a great travel team.
They're leaving him a good gap right now. He's going to call time and step out of the box, but they left him a good gap to be able to get one into right field.
Absolutely. And this is a very smart young man in the books. He also is very articulate. We've had him on radio before.
The 1-2 pitch. They're moving in to try to hold Holt very close at second. That one's low, 2-2.
I want to give a shout-out to Stephen Hamilton listening out in Arizona. We have listeners everywhere.
Man, I tell you what, when you talk about getting us all the way out to the desert Southwest, that's
well, I didn't know it till late last night. The gentleman that we got it with WNWS from Kuala Lumpur was listening to us.
Fantastic. Well, hello to all of you if you're listening and watching again tonight. And he steps off the mound once again. So Meeks to deliver the 2-2 once again. 7-0 lead for Jackson Christian. And that one just a little bit high. So we got a full count, 3-2.
Comes more of a hitter's count now, Steve.
Yep. I don't think Holt's going to be moving on this pitch.
No, I watched him. He's still got a little leg action to work out and get completely healthy.
And there's a high fly ball, and it's going back to the left fielder who is underneath it and takes it.
No, it came out.
It came out. All right, then Holt's going to move down. I could not see it from my vantage point. I thought he had it, but he dropped it, and so That puts them on second and third, so you got to give that an error to the left fielder.
Yeah, I agree with you,
Peanut
Steve.
Transu. So we got runners at second and third.
John Cena's here.
So score that one an E7. And it's Zach Creasy, the third baseman, and he goes around.
Kind of handcuffed him then. He had his arms in tight, and you didn't get to extend them. You've got to hit that inside pitch.
It's 0-1, but you got both these runners in scoring position, and that could get it ever closer to that 10-run rule, which still, and they're not going to try to advance on that one. It didn't go far enough away. 1-1 on the wild pitch. You don't want to actually advance it before it gets there, but if we get to 4.5 innings and the home team is up by 10, game over.
Absolutely, and that's and for the home team, they want it. Northside just wants some chance to put some runs on the board.
And that one's just in the outside corner, and it's 1 ball, 2 strikes. Nobody out here in the bottom half of the fourth. Joe will be taking it back around in the 5th inning. And that one right off the back of the neck, and so that is going to load them up for J.T. Mullins, the left fielder.
And those are the base runners that Northside has to make sure that our runner at first base does not cross the plate because he represents the 10th run.
And also, that is the third hit batsman of the game for Jackson Christian.
Meeks now at 27 pitches, 28 now.
Fouled back against the screen for an 0-1 count. And for Meeks, what you have to do is just continue your pitches. He's had plenty of opportunities, and just you've had these Jackson Christian hitters that have been very, very patient in this inning.
They have shown discipline.
And that one's going to go right between the pitcher's legs, and this may get – yeah, nobody is going to be out. Everybody's safe, and so give him an infield hit.
Absolutely, and an RBI.
So JT keeps it going, and the bases are still loaded. RBI for Mullins. And it's an 8-0 game with nobody out, and Easton Jones, the right fielder.
And I hear Hunter Hurst Helmsley's music.
Man, Triple H.
Yes, are we having wrestling? Now, Steve and I can talk wrestling with you, too.
We could get into a deep conversation on that. And there it goes into right field for a hit, and that's going to bring in one. Let's see if they get a second one. Nope, they're going to hold up at third, but it's a 9-0 game, and Easton Jones he let the pitch come to him, and he scores one in for another RBI, and that makes it a 9-0 game.
Steve, a good piece of hitting going to his right. Now, looks like the head coach is going to come out. I don't know whether this is a takeout visit or just, hey, settle down, let your fielders help you from behind. And what they want to avoid is that 10th run scoring.
And that's a tough one to have to deal with right now. 9 runs on 7 hits for Jackson Christian. No runs on 2 hits and 2 errors for the Northside Indians, and they're having a
great shot there at the mound. Worthy Road Studios camera work is tremendous.
And our director tonight is Summer Sturgis.
And she is the best. I'm going to tell you what, she can – we look forward to it. Worked with her in football, and, man, she had us all kinds of replays and stuff ready for the color man to talk about, and she is a jewel. She is like a symphony there on the keyboard.
Yes, Summer and Chris Reasons and Paul Schultze himself.
Can we get you to sing Summertime from Porgy and Bess sometime?
Well, the one I'd do better than that, that's a little bit of a high-pitched one, but it's summertime, 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 summertime.
I'd forgotten about that.
I figured that would make Summer laugh a little bit better.
Yeah, that would make her laugh a little better. You don't want me, my choir director asked me not to sing. I'm supposed to lip sync at church.
So here we go. And I'm trying to see, that is Carter Ellis, the pitcher, at the plate.
Well, he can help himself right now. He and JT could get out of this thing if he can hold them in the top of the fifth, but they got to have that one more magic run.
Got to have one more run. Bases loaded, nobody out. And that one is going to be fouled back, and it's going to be out of play. 1-1 count.
And Northside was just in a slugfest yesterday, 23-13 with West Carroll.
I'm telling you what, if you put 23 on the board, I don't care if you give up 13, you put 23 on the board, and your hitters are working hard. And that one's low for ball 2.
Well, you know what happened in that contest? They missed one extra point, and so did West Carroll. Otherwise, the score would have been 24-14. And no, folks, I don't have a football for a brain.
They would have had a field goal, though, see, Joe.
Yeah, could have had a field goal in there.
I guess that you could say it was 3 touchdowns and a safety.
Yeah. Well, all kinds of good stuff happening. Yeah, that could have had the safety.
2-1 count to Ellis. And that is low and outside, 3-1.
And we've had attempts at it, the first official left-handed swipe.
I think I beat you, too.
Oh, did you?
I
missed one. I missed one of your sneaky over there.
Yeah, I had to at some point. And that's high, and so that makes it a 10-run game as he walks the bases loaded. And so give an RBI to Carter Ellis. And they remain loaded as we get back up to the top of the order with Austin Kelly, the shortstop.
Absolutely, and he uses the Stone Cold Steve Austin music.
He's had a walk, reach base on an error, and he was called out on strikes. And that one is on the low part of the outside corner, and it's they posted it as a ball, but I believe it was a strike.
He gave the signal, and it was right on the black edge of the plate. The plate has a little black edge, runs all the way around. Sometimes the dirt covers it up.
That one's low. 1-1 count.
And again, another nice throw by Coleman, the catcher down there.
Yeah, you got to continue to keep the runners honest at this point in time. What you have to be careful of is not to let that one get away and get out into the outfield, because you could be giving up 3 runs very, very quickly.
Right, and you want to keep it close enough that you get something.
And that's in there. It's a 1-2 count. Now, the scoreboard says 2-1, but
I think it's 1-2.
We believe it's 1-2.
And according to this, it is, wow, they've got 2-1 here, though. I think they're wrong. I think they didn't see the hand come out.
And that one fouled back to the screen.
Doesn't matter now.
2-2, yeah. We're right on it. Bases loaded, and so far this is the 7th man in the inning to hit.
8th and 9th hitters coming up for Northside, though, in the bottom or in the top of the 5th.
And the pitch to Kelly is high, and that one's going to get away, but not far enough for the runners to advance.
And the way the backstop is and the configuration, you got to be very careful about coming home.
Joe, I think they heard us. It's 2-2.
Yeah. It's always good to listen to Worthy Road Studios broadcast of Jackson Christian or Union basketball. Freed, we got some great things. And I encourage you to watch Steve and them next year on Union basketball.
It should be another great season. And that one's high, ball 3.
Steve, does the NCAA Division II allow y'all to archive those games where they can go back and be watched?
They can be, except during playoffs.
Okay.
Now, what is now allowed as soon as your team finishes its season, and that one is going to send it in. And once again, another one without a hit brings in another run. It is an 11-0 game. And give an RBI to Austin Kelly.
And I would say we're going to have a change right here. Coach Maxwell out there to make the change. And he got some good time from his pitcher Meeks, but seems to run into a steamroller this inning.
And let's see who comes in to pitch. Well, is Meeks going to come out? No, yeah, he is. Yeah. And so checking in now is going to be – and, Joe, it looks like Cam Reed, the shortstop, is going to come in to pitch.
And we know Reed has got a pretty good arm on him. Not sure. The bad thing, again, this is tough. He's not catching like yesterday's situation, but he hasn't had any throws to speak of
Nah, and you know, the tough part for this Northside team is that there's still nobody out in the inning.
And it's harder to get loose with the temperature is dropping now. And maybe I ought to check that temperature. It feels, because the wind chill is worse than it really is, because they say it's still 51, but this is the coldest 51 I have ever been in.
Somebody is over here, Joe, that is just tempting us with, I think, something off the grill.
Oh, me. I see that. Chuck Ray, and we have told him.
Oh, we appreciate it,
and we appreciate Chuck. But I tell you what we need to do.
He wants to know if you need anything to drink here.
Oh, no, I got one hiding out over here. And Chuck's grill work is beyond. He's a chef. He's no longer just Chuck. He's a chef. And Steve, you and Summer, tell me what y'all need in the way of mustard, ketchup.
You know, this is a great way to do it on. This is a great way to do this on live television. This is what Dizzy Dean used to do. Is that he would go down and sometimes tell Pee Wee Reese in the 6th inning, he'd say, "Pee Wee, I'm going down and get me something to eat. You just call this till I get back."
Absolutely, and and maybe because he had food in his mouth, the reason he'd say slud into third.
He slid into third, yeah. But I always love about this point in a game like this, he'd have to break into the Wabash Cannonball in the chorus, and it'd go like this. Listen to the jingle, the rumble, and the roar. She's going down the mountains, down the hills, and by the shore. She's mighty tall and handsome and known quite well by all. The greatest locomotion called the Wabash Cannonball.
Son, you are singing it. This man is open for a recording contract now.
No, I think, Joe, that probably ended any threat of that. Oh, that was baseball on Saturday afternoon, and sometimes Dizzy would break into precious memories, and he was the person who was his absolute self.
Absolutely. And if you haven't seen him, there are some archives footage of him. Go find it.
Yeah, you got to. That one's low and away, so it's a 1-0 count now to Austin Kelly. Let me double check to be sure if that's Austin.
No, this would be is Wyatt. I thought was up
there.
there.
Hard and mine it.
And this is not Wyatt at the bat. I can tell you that right now.
Yeah. Yeah, this is mine it.
Got a good rip at it. Got under it just a hair, though.
Coach McLean is beginning to get in some of his other guys to let them have some experience here. And
absolutely. And if he needs to bring them back out for defense, we have the re-entry rule, or some people call it substitution rule.
And that one's high. 2 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out, and bases still loaded for Jackson Christian.
And Cam Reed coming on in a tough situation, relief with just the minimum of warm-up pitches.
And that one dips way outside. It's 3-2.
And we have no outs, so one of my favorite things, there's no merry-go-round that can happen right now. I love it when the runners are running with 2 outs, 3-2 count, but that's not going to happen this time because you could run into a double play that way too sometimes.
Yeah. He almost stepped off the mound high, and that's ball 4 to bring in another run. So mine it with an RBI, and so many of these RBIs in this inning have happened without the benefit of a hit.
Absolutely. Is that Ted DiBiase fixing to come up?
That sounds like money.
Man, I am having fun here at the ballpark. My hamburger's talking to me.
Well, hey, listen, mine's about to talk to me.
We're going to have a pinch runner if I can pick up the number. I might have to bring my Zoom glasses when they wear this set of numbers. And I cannot tell who it is, Steve. I want to say it's 11, but do you need some more mustard? I have got more mustard or ketchup.
Let's see.
I'm
gonna pass this on to Summer.
Anybody need this?
Y'all excuse us while we fix our plate. And that one's high, and they're not going to be able to advance.
No, and I like the way they had the first baseman coming in as the pitcher went towards home plate and the catcher went. That's good. They show the coach has taught the fundamentals, just like Chase McLean and Todd Lumley and Coach Brian Bullard, who is the dugout coach. But Brian very active, and we'll give you a little more history as this season goes on. Those are 3 fine young men, and I know that the Northside coach shows that he has taught fundamentals too and how to cover behind people. Infield in.
And that one's low and away. But they said he hit the outside corner, so it's 1-1. And once again, for the third time in this game, Jackson Christian has batted around in an inning.
Absolutely.
And here's the pitch. And strike two.
Now that's going to be a strike at this point in the game in any contest.
And let's see if he can get his first K of the evening. High, way high. And it again goes back to the almost to the backstop. 2-2 is the count. 5 runs are in the inning. A 12-0 Jackson Christian lead, and the more they put in this inning, the more pressure it's going to put on to Northside to avoid the 10-run rule in the top of the 5th.
Yeah, those are all insurance runs.
High, ball 2.
You know, this young man's got a strong arm, an active arm, but right now, coming in like he had, is cold. His release point's a little high, Steve.
That's ball 3, I should say.
Yeah, 3-2. Infield in.
And here's the wind, and the pitch struck him out. So that is the first strikeout for Reed.
And that makes me go to the next lane.
Yeah,
in my
I'm gonna have to go.
page.
I'm gonna do the same thing, Joe, to get this one in, and they are going to make a change in the lineup as he comes out. And
Coach is batting another one. Coach Chase McLean got a lot of young men into the lineup.
And this is going to be Eli Terry coming to the plate.
So Eli Terry here, right-handed hitter.
And that one is right down on the outside corner for strike 1. So it looks like Reed is settling down a little bit. The tough part is when you start giving up a lot of runs, when you got the bases loaded in that case, and they're not getting it by the benefit of the hit. 12 runs and only 7 hits in the game, 1 error. But a lot of this has happened on the basis of walks and hit batsmen.
Making the most of the opportunities.
This is the 10th man to hit in the inning. And a high fly ball that is going to be out of play.
Right on top of the old dugout. Good old dugout roof.
So that makes it 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. And if anything that you could talk about tonight, Joe, it's been consistency on the part of Jackson Christian, and particularly the way they've been patient on these balls that they've taken that have led to walks.
Absolutely.
And right down in there for call strike 3.
And like I said, when it's late in the game like this, the 10-run rule possibly in effect. Hitters, beware. I would probably be swinging on anything close to the plate with 2 strikes on me.
Andrew Potts is now in as a pinch hitter.
Andrew played and started last night.
And that one gets away, but again, nobody's going to try to advance on that one.
Now, if he can just work this count, we can have one of my favorite times. We got bases loaded with 2 outs. Young man walking in front of us, interested. Maybe he's got a career in broadcasting.
You never know who's going to be the next one to get behind the mic. Here's the pitch, and it is.
They're going to send him to first.
Is a balk?
No, it
Or did it hit him?
It hit him. Got that jersey, and Andrew, a tough young man. Now, a lot of people, and he's telling the first base coach about how it did touch him.
So that brings in run number 13.
Now that's a baker's dozen.
I tell you what, you start talking about the bakeries around this place, you'll take those dozens anytime.
Absolutely. That's the reason I look like a jelly donut right now.
And that one gets away, but it's not going to be enough to advance the runners. And so
I believe
it's 1-0.
Coleman's got this thing figured out on the bounce backs from the wall.
Yeah, I mean, and really, frankly, if you are a catcher and you're a good catcher and you've got that kind of experience, to keep that runner on us down at third. He's had to chase a few this evening from multiple pitchers. Reed with the delivery, and it's down in the dirt, 2-0.
Braden Wilbanks up there, and he looked good doing it. Told the runner the ball didn't get away, even though it was in the dirt, because Coleman had done a good job, and I like that. Like our graphics on the screen where when they first come up there, Summer always has the hitter's number and name up there, and that is a good thing.
And it's outside, 3-0. Now, it'll be interesting to see if Wilbanks is given the green light on this one with the bases loaded and 2 out.
It would be. This is a tough situation because you got the big lead, so you may cut him loose, and then again, you may say practice your fundamentals.
Way high, and that brings in run number 14.
And it didn't matter which one we said.
Well, that is a 7-run inning. They have doubled their output here in the 4th. 14-0. And I'm trying to check on who this is, Joe.
I cannot see the number. They got 20 up there. Who on our roster is 20?
Is this possibly Jack Collins? I don't know.
It could be Jack. I will have to check my roster. He's a left-handed hitter like Jack is. If he had his football uni on, I could tell you who it was.
And that's high.
Now, Jack yesterday, though, wore number 11.
It's 2-0 count. And way high again, 3-0. He's just getting these pitches up very, very high, and particularly to the left-handed hitters.
Sometimes it looks like a right-hander ought to be able to throw in there. You let the ball tail away from you and go high and away.
They've changed it on the scoreboard to 2-1 rather than 3-0, and that one's high. So it's 3 balls, 1 strike. And that one almost got away, throwing it beyond the pitcher. 14-0 game, and that's going to force Northside to score at least 4 in their half of the 5th inning. And the 3-1. And just leaned in for it, make it a 3-2 count.
Merry-go-round time, Steve.
There you go.
The runners will be off with the
this
pitch.
Next pitch. 3-2. 2 out. Everybody on. Reed delivers the 3-2. And it is outside, and so once again, another one scores on a base on balls. And Minot comes in to score, and that makes it a 15-0 lead. And that one is in the corner for strike 1. This has been, shall we say, a long inning.
It has been. I wished I'd put my stopwatch on it now.
Right down in there for 0-2. Scott is at the plate.
That was Nanny batting number 20.
Number 20, okay.
And, Steve, I didn't get the number of the young man at the plate. This looks like it's Scott, though.
Number 8 is 1 ball and 2 strikes. And a pitch. And struck him out. So, at long last, and let's take a look at it, 14 men went to the plate in the 4th inning. And your score now, Jackson Christian 15, Northside nothing. Joe will be back to give you the play-by-play as we start the 5th and what could be the final inning right after these messages.
Southern Family Dentistry's dental laser technology is a game changer for those who experience dental anxiety. Just imagine. No more drills. Look at some of Dr. Nathan Nash's patient results. We provide a relaxing environment to ensure a pleasant visit every time. From a simple cleaning to a full dental reconstruction. And now, prepless veneers. We're there when you need us. Dr. Nathan Nash will treat your family just like he wants his family treated. Check them out on Facebook to see all those loving smiles. Call 300-4545. Southern Family Dentistry, we want to make you smile.
Buying a car is all about you. In person, over the phone, or online, we make it simple and easy. Our place or yours, no matter where you live. LonnieCobbFord.com or Lonnie Cobb Ford in Henderson, where cars really are cheaper in the country. At Lonnie Cobb Ford, we now give you a warranty for life on the engine and transmission. That's right, a warranty for life at no cost to you. Unlimited time, unlimited mileage, but it's only at Lonnie Cobb Ford in Henderson, where cars really are cheaper in the country.
We are back for the top of the fifth. Steve Beverly and Coach Joe Holloway, and I guess it would help if I raised my mic up just a little bit. Thank Chuck Ray and the concession stand for the wonderful food. And, folks, it's worth the price of admission come to the ballpark just to get to eat either one of the hot dogs or the hamburgers.
I will second that motion.
Popcorn is excellent. I recommend it. And if you look at me, you'd know that I am a good connoisseur of food. 15-0 the score. Steve Jackson Christian leading, but Northside will bat here in the top of the fifth, but they need 6 runs to get it back to where you keep playing. They start with the number 8 and 9 men, Ty Rutledge, and then Cam Reed, the pitcher, will be coming up. And Ty Rutledge will lead it off. In his only plate appearance, he struck out.
Carter Ellis is back on the mound.
Okay, Carter still with us on the mound. And we are waiting pitch. First pitch out of the stretch. And that is low and inside, but it had some zip on it. That's where you need that radar gun. Just 1-0 count. Rutledge up there. Now, Game Changer has Carson Holt pitching. Is that 21?
Perhaps it is. It is so hard to see these numerals from where we are.
Swing and strike. And for the people that don't, the next time that we get a close-up shot of the Jackson Christian uniforms on the back, you can see it's just an outline of blue, I think, around there, and that is it.
That's Carson, 21, yeah.
Okay, yeah, we can see it. Our camera shots, we need to be watching our camera shots. They're really good. Yeah, Carson is in there pitching.
I think he's grinning underneath that mitt.
Yeah. You know, everybody, even in football now, Steve, the coaches hold up their playbook or the cardboard that they've got it all written on or whatever. And in baseball has always kind of stuck that glove up there. I'm good at stealing signs, but I don't read lips very well.
And I think they're paranoid about it, and it doesn't really matter that much.
Yeah, because half the guys in the dugouts are trying to figure out where the next box of popcorn's coming from.
Exactly.
It's a 2-1 count with Carson Holt on the mound wearing 21. And we are even up at 2-2. Carson, your designated hitter. Of course, his sister, the great first baseman for the girls softball team, who's very good. And the pitch low, 3-2 the count. We'll have the softball team. I think we don't have another game with them until in April. But they are very good. They were at the state last year. Of course, Jackson Christian has 2 state championships in their baseball history.
20.
Swinging strike 3.
2008 and 2014 for those 2 state championships.
And they have had a ton of appearances in the state tournament. And this was back when you had to play all the schools, public and private, on some of those appearances. And really did a good job. They always hung around for a long time. I think they got a couple of runner-ups to go with it.
That was the 5th strikeout for the Jackson Christian pitchers tonight.
And a good pitch right over the outside corner. And like I said, late in a game on a cold night, those pitches that are on the edge or the little dotted line outside, they're going to be strikes. And that's just the way baseball is. It doesn't matter. Here's the pitch. He held up. They'll check and make sure, though. Oh, they called it a strike. Wow, I thought he held up.
Boy, Carter had some heat on that one.
Yeah, he was bringing that one. Carson Holt is a strong young man. Of course, like I said, mom and dad both are very good athletes. 1-1 count on the way to the plate, and that one is a strike. Boy, it got that inside corner. So 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. Northside fighting for survival in this game. They have to have 6 to keep playing. Don't forget you can see this game archived on YouTube. You can either type it in there or go straight to Worthy Road Studios YouTube page. Oh, that looked pretty good to me, and I think the umpire liked it too. That was taking it for the second out, and now that brings up the leadoff man, Coleman. He has grounded back to the pitcher both times at the plate.
And as we would say, this could be the finale.
It could be. Young man has caught a very good game behind the plate, not afraid to challenge runners. Jackson Christian with 2 outs. They're playing it. Well, the center fielder's shading right field just a little bit. And, boy, that one got by the hair of your chin.
Tight overrun. Close to his body.
If he had taken a breath and expanded his chest, he would have gotten hit. Left fielder is way off the line, Steve. Boy, look at this. Exaggerated shift. And I guess it's because of Carson Holt's speed. Here's a ground ball. The first baseman will take it. 3-U, that's first base unassisted. And this ball game is over. It is 15 runs, 7 hits, and 1 error for the Eagles, who are the winner, and they move to 7 wins on the season. No runs, 2 hits, and 2 errors for the Indians from Northside, who moved to 4-3 on the season. Steve, a couple of comments before we take our next time out.
Well, this was a game that really, Jackson Christian, but by virtue of the fact that in 3 of their 4 innings, they sent either everybody or they went around for a second time. They had 14 men to go to the plate in the 4th inning, and they just continued to capitalize on the many walks and hit batsmen and errors in this game, and you can tell that by the fact that they scored 15 runs on only 7 hits.
Absolutely. The young men have played well, and, of course, both teams go through the customary sportsmanship line. Great shot. We can back off and get the whole field. That's our wide-angle shot. And, of course, you see Paul Schultze down there with the ladder. I guess he's taking his case to a higher court. No.
This is not quite as big as the Werner ladders to cut the nets down at, at the NCAA tournament.
And actually, he's going to take cameras down. You have multiple camera shots only with Worthy Road Studios. Often imitated but never duplicated is Worthy Road Studios.
That's what American Dream Dusty Rhodes would say.
Yes, he was. The tower power too sweet to be sour. We have had a great time. We're going to take a timeout, and when we come back, we'll have final comments and stats for you on the Worthy Road Jackson Christian School Network. Let's take that time out.
Hello, folks. This is Gary Deaton, right here at Deaton's Carpet One. I want to let you know we've been in business for 48 years. Here's what I believe has made the difference. Our lifetime labor warranty on everything we install. Our healthy living installation, bacteria and germs cannot survive in our new flooring. Our beautiful guarantee, if you don't just love it, we'll replace it. It will make your flooring experience priceless. We're located on Freedom Highway, 1000 Highway 45 bypass in good old Jackson, Tennessee.
Great American Sports. Make sports an addiction. Located at 125B Old Hickory Boulevard, East in Jackson. We specialize in team sports for youth leagues, schools, and churches. We can embroider and screen print team uniforms. We also have sports equipment, Under Armour, and Adidas clothing, and anything else you need for your team sports. You can email or call us for all your team sports needs. Great American Sports. Make sports an addiction.
We are back here at Jackson Christian School, where it has been a dominant Thursday, Friday, 10-0 victory last night over Fayette Ware, and tonight as you saw it, again, the 10-run rule as they were up 15-0, and Northside just could not punch over anything over this evening. So it's been a sweep for the Eagles. And, Joe, it has really been one of those that's been a combination of pitching and being very patient at the plate.
Yeah, the pitching has really been great. We knew we were going to get a good outing out of Walker Ray last night. Now, we used 3 pitchers today, but that was part of the plan.
Yeah.
Chase had talked to us before we left the ballpark last night and told us that he was going to use at least 3 pitchers, and he got some good innings. Of course, JT Favera can relieve. He can start if you staff gets overburdened, but I was impressed with Carter Ellis, and I'm going to tell you what, as Holt gets stronger, and he had some injuries in the previous year, this young man was throwing that number 1 pretty hard.
Well, Isaiah Meeks and Corbin March managed the only 2 hits that Northside had tonight, and it was just a tough outing all the way around. And between the 3 pitchers on Jackson Christian, I'm going to go down my totals here, but there were 7 strikeouts on the evening. And it was just really, I think, a complete team performance. And, in fact, not until the 4th inning did Northside manage to get those 2 hits. And it was, again, one of the great outfield plays that we saw in the night was after Meeks got on, and then Joseph Marshall hit a fly out to center field, and the center fielder managed to throw out the runner back at second base. And as we talked about, that was one of the better fielding plays that you will ever see, an unusual and unconventional double play.
Absolutely, and tomorrow, if I have a chance on the Saturday Sports Roundup sometime between 10 and 12, I'm going to see if I can pull that, because we also archive games up at WNWS, and that would be a great one. Steve had a great call on that double play, and you got to love that. A well-coached Northside team who scored 23 last night. They ran into pretty good pitching, and the bats didn't work for them. They only had 1 error, as you point out, Steve, but, you know, Favera, Ellis, and Holt, 5 innings worth of work, no runs. We did have the error that we committed, and but you know what? They only walked 2 people. That's important.
Yeah, and you look across the board here, and 7 strikeouts on the part of Jackson Christian pitchers, all 3 of them. So they were really doing it in a combination tonight. But I'm so impressed with the fact, first inning, the entire 9 batted around. Second inning, the 9 batted around. Now, they had one where the 3rd inning, and all 3 of them went down, even though you had a double in that one. He was thrown out with a fielder's choice. But in the 4th and ultimately decisive inning, you had 14 Eagles that went to the plate.
Absolutely. I'm going to ask a favor of Summer, and it may not be possible. Summer, is there any way to get a shot? Because people need to see these young men. They don't play and go home. They have to work on the field, and I don't know if we've got a camera that we can go to, because we always come to, I call it the studio camera, and we are in our mobile studio of Worthy.
There we go.
Look at the young men working out there. There's one over there raking first base you don't see, but they've gotten the tarp and stuff out, and they've put it in. This is impressive, because everybody thinks they play in the game and they go home. That's not the way it works.
No. They work incessantly to help keep this field in the kind of shape. You don't have a professional grounds crew here, and so they work intensely to try to keep this place in between games in the best possible condition that it is. And I will tell you, this is one of the better high school fields I've ever seen anywhere, and they're very proud of this here. And a lot of that is the testimony to those young men that you're seeing out there who have just thrown the balls and strikes and have just done the hitting tonight. But the work's not done. They don't just head home after that.
That's right. And they did bring in Stephen Hamilton, a graduate of Jackson Christian School, who is a professional groundskeeper. He was in charge of 2 complexes. He's also worked in the All-Star game. He gave him a few tips for, actually, we had some drainage problems. You'd never know it, because we've had plenty of rain. The grass is so beautiful here at this place. The background, I like trees out there in the background. You got a good batter's eye and things like that. Now, the one thing I haven't done, I got to tell you about Jackson Christian.
Let's run it down, Joe.
Now, Austin Kelly tonight had 2 at-bats, official at-bats. He didn't get a hit, but guess what he did do? He scored 3 runs. He had an RBI. He was on base on ball twice tonight. Now, Wyatt Jones, the fine catcher, he didn't score tonight, but he had 1 big hit and caught a wonderful game back there Minot came on. He was he scored 1 run. He doesn't have an official at bat, but he had an RBI also, and he walked. Chance King scored 2 runs in 2 at bats. Didn't have a hit, but he also got walked. And of course, Terry came on and had 1 at bat, and he was 0 for 1 on the night. Carson Holt, the DH who finished the game pitching, was 1 for 2 tonight. He scored a run. He also knocked in a run. He was walked. Cooper started at second base and did not hit. He was the designated fielder, I guess you'd call him. He plays that, but they have a designated hitter, so somebody doesn't get to bat. Walker Ray, another great night. He was 3 for 3. Didn't have a chance to go for the cycle because of the situation. He didn't get 4 at bats, and they did. Evidently, they changed the scoring, and Game Changer has given him a hit. So
instead of that error on the left fielder, yes.
He scored twice, had 2 RBIs. Potts was 0 for 0. He does have an RBI as a run came in while he was batting. Zach Creasy, the fine third baseman, scored 2 runs tonight. Doesn't have an official at bat. He did walk.
Don't you love that when they don't have an official at bats, but they're scoring 1 and 2 runs? Because capitalizing off those hit batsmen and the walks.
Will Banks had an RBI on a base on balls. He didn't score. Mullins was 2 for 2 tonight, and JT was pretty good, left-handed hitter, plays in the outfield. He also can play first base. 2 for 2 with a run scored. 3 RBIs for JT now.
Great job for JT tonight.
Yeah, Nanny was at the plate, had an RBI. He walked. Jones came on, or Easton Jones actually started in center field. He was 1 for 2, had a big base hit, scored a run, had an RBI, and he also walked. Scott was 0 for 1 on the night for Vera. Now, I didn't think John David batted tonight.
I don't believe he did.
Well, they've got him credited with that. But now Ellis did hit. He scored a run. He had an RBI, and he walked. We have 20 at-bats, 15 runs. That's a pretty good percentage right there. 8 hits, only 8 hits to score that many runs. 13 RBIs, 11 base on balls. And as Steve told you, we had 7 guys that struck out.
400 batting average tonight, so that's about as good as you can ask. And to dominate as they have these last 2 nights, and it was last night just a combination of very, very strong pitching that we had from Walker Ray last night, who faced the minimum of 15 batters and had 10 strikeouts last night, and then flipped the page to tonight. And everybody was in on it. Joe just ran all of those totals down with the guys who didn't have maybe but 1 or 2 at-bats. Some of them with no at-bats, but were scoring 1 and 2 runs in the game. And it was just a patient night altogether. Great combination of committee pitching job tonight. So, Joe, they've got to be happy with where they are right now, because that takes them to 7-1-1 on the season.
They have got to be very happy. Northside falls to 4-3, but all they do is need to go back and a little work. You can tell they've been well coached. You saw some good fundamentals, including backing up even when they were behind.
Yeah.
Those young men, both teams hustling. You like that. Steve, you and I will be back here Monday night as the dreaded Tipton Rosemark team comes calling.
That is going to be one TRA, and they always bring something to the table. And so I hope all of you will be with us. And are we going to be at the same time on Monday night?
And, well, that's to be determined. It'll be at 6 or 6:30, one of the
6
two.
or 6:30.
We'll probably start our broadcast a hair earlier. We learned something tonight. So
Yeah.
we'll have a little more pregame show in case, and sometimes your sound system doesn't allow you to play the national anthem. It's not that you don't want to, because it is the greatest song in this country. Right behind it is Kate Smith and God Bless America.
There you go.
And Born in the USA, it's on that list too. And folks, you live in a great country, just like Jackson Christian is a great school. Good citizenship is taught here. Academics are high. We have doctors, lawyers, all kinds of people that have come from this school, and we have great athletics. Our young men, we get fewer of the unsportsmanlike conduct penalties, et cetera, like that. It's a pleasure to work with these coaches, the administration. Jason Shelton, a Don Meyer disciple, just like Mark Campbell, is the athletic director here. And, of course, anybody that knew the late coach Don Meyer, Steve, you got to do some of the games that he coached in.
You're talking about one of the all-time greats, and He's still, I think, the only man who ever coached a team to 40 basketball victories at NAIA basketball in one season.
I believe you are right. And, of course, for overall all basketball, Philip Hutchison and John Pierce still hold the record. Yes, Pistol Pete holds the NCAA record, but they scored more than Pistol Pete did.
John Pierce had the softest layup off the glass of anybody. It was a textbook to teach people how to do that. Well, Joe, we're getting about ready to wrap this thing up. Why don't we show everybody who brought this game to us tonight?
We will do that. You need to tell them about the announcers and how we got approved for that.
Yes, right. The announcers on this broadcast have been approved by Worthy Road Studios, and we're always very happy about that when the checks are issued. But tonight our game was directed by Summer Sturgis, who did an outstanding job as always. And Joe and I, of course, on the mic. Jamie Jando was on camera along with Paul Schultze. And, of course, Paul is our ever-cool, ever-present executive producer of Worthy Road Studios.
Absolutely. And, of course, we need to remind everybody out there, Steve told you that we do have to be approved to announce that any rebroadcast, retransmission, or further use of this contest without the express written consent of Worthy Road Studios is prohibited. For Steve Beverly and the whole crew and Worthy Road Studios, it's time to say thanks for your time this time. Till next time, good night all.